The sky lightens, shifting from deep indigo to soft lavender and rose. She stands at the edge of the world, where the sea kisses the sand. Her silhouette, a dark, graceful shape against the breaking dawn. She is alone, but not lonely. The solitude is comforting, like a familiar cloak wrapped around her shoulders. The beach, with its rhythmic waves and whispering breeze, is a world away from the glittering, suffocating ballrooms she once knew. Here is no pretense, no need for masks. It's a place where secrets can dissolve into the salt air, carried away by the tide. She kneels, running her fingers through the cool sand, feeling each grain slip through her hand. It reminds her of time, how it slips away. Quietly, persistently, she thinks of the years spent playing a role she never wanted. The life of a wife, encased in glided cages and polite lies. Each footprint she leaves on this shore feels like a small rebellion, a declaration of her existence outside the boundaries imposed on her. The revolver he left her with lies discarded, half buried in the sand, an emblem of his arrogance, his belief that he knew her mind, her will. But he never understood her, not really. She stands gazing out at the water, where dawn's light shimmers like scattered pearls on the surface. She sees herself in that reflection, fragmented, almost unreal. Who was she, really? Before he painted over her soul with his own image. Who is she now, standing on the threshold, neither prisoner nor entirely free? The water moves in gentle rhythms, a mirror of her thoughts. It speaks of release, of letting go, of being carried forward without resistance. She feels the urge to wade deeper, to let the sea wash away the remnants of a life that was never hers. But something holds her back, a promise, a hope that lingered in the depths of her heart. In the silence, she recalls the letter she wrote months ago, but never sent. Words she penned late at night, when her heart was heavy with longing. It was a letter to the man she once loved, long before she became entangled in a web of expectations and deceit. She had told him everything of the empty marriage, the nights spent staring at the stars and wishing for a different life. She never sent it, fearing it would only bring him harm. But in those unsent words lay a fragment of her true self, a voice that refused to be silenced. Tonight, on this beach, she speaks those words aloud. Her voice, a quiet thread in the wind. Each syllable is a thread cut loose, setting her spirit free. The horizon begins to glow, a pale line of gold against the deep blue sea. She thinks of the stories she held as a child, of souls lost to the oceans, of ships guided by the spirits of the departed. There's a myth that the sea listens, that it hears the unspoken desires of the heart and carries them to distant shores. She wonders if she spoke her wish to these waters, would carry to him. She whispers his name, a soft, trembling sound that's almost lost in the rising breeze. For a moment, she feels foolish, but then the wind shifts and she hears it, faint but distinct, a ship's bell carried on the air. She blinks, her breath catching as she strains to see. There, on the edge of the world, a white sail appears, small and almost ethereal against the dawn. Her heart flutters, a delicate, aching hope blossoming in her chest. Could it be? Has he come after all this time? Her fingers clutch the fabric of her dress as she takes a step forward, then another, the water cool against her feet. The sail draws closer, and she can just make out a figure at the helm. It's him. She knows it, feels it deep within her bones. He's come for her through the night and the uncertain sea, guided not by the words she never sent, but by the unbroken bond they still share. She moves through the water, each step lighter, as if shedding a lifetime's worth of burdens. Her dress billows around her, and for the first time in years, she feels truly alive. She reaches the boat. He pulls her aboard, and they stand together, the beach receding into the distance, a shadow of what once was. There are no grand declarations, no need for words. The silence between them is rich, filled with promise of new beginnings, of lives yet to be lived. The boat turns towards the open sea, its white sail catching the dawn's first light. She looks back once, a final farewell to the woman she was, the roles she played, the man who thought he could command her fate, and then she turns her face to the future. The horizon wide and bright before them. Freedom like a breath of fresh air filling their lungs. The past may linger, but no longer defines her. She is more than the shadow cast by another's hand. She is herself, and she is free.